it's, am I the asshole for ignoring my family after they excluded me from Christmas again? For context, I, 29 female, have not been on great terms with my family for a long time. My mom has spent most of my life doing everything she can to tear me down, and as of now, I haven't spoken to her in almost 3 years. I have an okay relationship with my brother, 32 male, and I love my dad even though he enables my mom and never stands up for me because he doesn't like to rock the boat. Until a few months ago, I lived pretty close to my parents, but I recently moved across the country and I don't have any friends or family anywhere near my new home. I love holidays and celebrations, but no one else in my family does. When I was younger, they used to make fun of me or get frustrated when I would try to be festive around Christmas, and eventually I stopped trying. For the past decade, my family hasn't done anything for any holiday, and become okay with that. However, my brother, who lives in a different state, got divorced a couple years ago and his ex took their house. So my parents bought a duplex in his town so that he could live on one side with my 4-year-old niece and they could live part-time on the other. They still have their house in my hometown that they live in most of the year, but the last 2 years my parents have gone up to stay in their side of the duplex for the whole month of December, and they've celebrated Christmas with my brother and niece. Last year, they didn't even tell me that they were going. I found out from my dad's Facebook. It hurt that they decided to celebrate Christmas all together and didn't even tell me, but I shook it off. This year, though, they did it again. My dad called me on Christmas Eve and told me how much fun they were having as a family, and then asked me what I was doing for Christmas. I told him I was doing nothing. I don't know anyone in my new city, and my family is all celebrating Christmas without me. He paused like he didn't consider that, and then quickly got off the phone. He later sent me a selfie of all of them together saying, "Merry Christmas from blank state." I didn't answer. Actually, I stopped answering at all. My dad and I usually talk 2 to 3 times a week to check in, but he's called me once and texted me twice, and I haven't answered since Christmas Eve 7 days ago. I've also not been posting on my socials, and given that I'm not answering him or posting, and I'm all alone in a city far away, he really doesn't know if I'm alive or dead. He texted me yesterday saying, "Please tell me if you're okay," and I haven't responded. I know it's petty, but I'm really hurt that I wasn't even thought of for the family holiday. Even if I was invited, I probably wouldn't have gone just because I don't want to be around my mom, but being left out entirely really hurts, and having them rub it in my face with their selfie is even worse. I've been ignored by my family for my whole life, and I'm tired of trying. I don't know how to say this to my dad, and I don't want to talk to him until I know what to say. Am I the asshole by maintaining my silence? Not the asshole. And you should just say what you feel. You should just say exactly what you're telling us because they deserve to know. And it was wrong of your family to do that. And it's wrong of your dad to just try to get off the phone after you said that as well. That's kind of messed up. And then send you that picture to rub it in your face even more when he caught that vibe. He definitely caught that vibe on the phone that you were upset about it. So he can poop on his shoes or something. Okay, update 10 and a half months later. I didn't think my post from last year was that interesting, but a surprising number of people have asked for an update, so here it is. After a couple of weeks of radio silence, I followed some good advice from my original post and texted my dad to tell him that it hurt my feelings they left me out. He half apologized and life went on. A lot of people pointed out that while my family was toxic, me ignoring my dad was also pretty toxic, and they were right. My family is super passive aggressive, and that's the only way I've ever learned to handle conflict. And to answer some more comments, I have been in therapy for about 6 years, and after last Christmas, I started working with my therapist on how to do healthier confrontation. It's still not something I'm super comfortable with, but I'm getting better. I've also made a good number of friends in my new city, and I'm doing pretty well, all things considered. With my family, at the end of the day, nothing has changed. They didn't really acknowledge my 30th birthday in spring, and most recently, when I invited my dad to grad school graduation next year, he told me that he couldn't commit to it right now because he's waiting to see if something that he'd rather do comes up. My brother said that he would come, but he's already gone from a yes to a maybe, so I don't have high hopes. The good news is that it finally hurts less because I have more or less given up on having a real relationship with them. I'm never going to be loved or cared about by them the way that I want to be, and I've come to accept that. As of now, I have no plans for Christmas this year, but it's okay. My family sucks, but I'm really lucky to have my friends, and I'm grateful for that. I really don't like your family. That's so mean, in my opinion, to be... I mean, Are they just like, do they hate holidays and celebrating things or something? That's kind of crazy to not even say like happy birthday. What? And then to not come to a grad school graduation? Like, that's a big deal that you're literally graduating grad school and your dad is saying you can't commit to it right now. If that were my parents would be like, I mean, I know not all parents are good parents, so obviously that's really sad. But like, that's so crazy. My parents would immediately be like, oh my God, absolutely. Like, so proud of you. Immediately coming to see you graduate. And I don't even like to do stuff like that. Like, sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to be the center of attention. Okay. Some of OP's comments. Someone said to them, you're ignoring them is only toxic if you're doing it as a punishment. If you're doing it for self-preservation, it's wise. Talk with your therapist about this. OP said, if I'm being honest, it was more or less 50-50 self-preservation and punishment. It is something I've worked on in therapy since last Christmas, though. Then someone said, he told me that he couldn't commit right now because he's waiting to see if something that he'd rather do comes up. Sweet baby pickles. What? And then OP responded to that and said, to be fair, I am paraphrasing there. That wasn't verbatim. His reasoning was more like, well, XYZ might happen or ABC might happen around that time. Or we're going to go on vacation at some point too, so I have to factor that in. Still basically the same thing, but less blunt. Someone said, this is a sad update, so nothing has changed and you're still sad about it? Shake my head. You need to cut those effers off already. Honestly, I feel like there's not even anything to cut off because these people don't even like try to have a relationship with them. OP said, unfortunately for those of us with feelings, it's not that fast and easy to just get over something like this. There's a lot of grief to navigate when it comes to accepting the loss of family, even if what I'm grieving is just an idea. The update is that nothing has changed with my family, but that I'm finally okay with it and moving on. That's about as good as it gets. Not sure what else you want. And then Wallio said, if you have available time, may I recommend volunteering for a local charity related to Christmas? There are a lot of them that do toy shops, food for families, etc., where you may find a lot of joy if you love Christmas and could also be a great way to meet new people that you have something in common with. OP said, I'm not sure if I'll have time to do it this year because I'm in the trenches of my grad program, but this is an excellent idea, and if I can do it this year, I'll look into it in the future. That's a great idea. On today's episode of Golden Child versus Black Sheep, the Black Sheep's getting hit with steel chairs from every immediate family member. Someone responded and said, yeah, my mom threw a tantrum when I asked her to behave at my graduation for my master's. Please, no getting drunk and no racist comments. Her response was to throw a tantrum, call me names, scream at me, and then refuse to attend. When I told my father I still wanted him to attend, I got an I understand text. Neither of them came. They've supported my brother in everything he does, moved across the country to be near him. I don't exist and I don't matter. I now have my own little chosen family. Still hurts though. That's so sad. And I was going to say like, well, you're better off without them, but I can understand how like that would suck so bad and not feel great, even if you are better off without them and you realize that you're better off without them, especially some racist, crazy person. But yeah, that definitely doesn't take away from the hurt that you feel. But I feel like also realizing that like you don't really want people like that in your life could help, because I would never want to be, especially because obviously your brother, it's because your brother is like probably in the same, area, or what is it? Como se dice? I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, he's on the same level as them. He doesn't probably care. He's also probably acting the same way and throwing tantrums, calling names, being racist and things like that. And he's obviously not like calling them out or trying to get them to be better. And usually people that are like that don't want to be better, and they especially don't want to hear that they should be better. So they're going to surround themselves with people that just accept their behavior or are like them in that way, and they don't have to feel bad about being bad. Like, blah. So yeah, anyways, that's all the stories that we have in this episode. Family drama is always so crazy, and families are just crazy. Like, I'm so glad. I don't have drama with my family. Not to say that I've never had drama with my family, but like I've just been, I don't even know how to explain my family. Like crazy things have happened in my family growing up, but it's never been like situations with me other than when like my sister would literally blow up on me when I was in college. And she's like, what, I was 18 and she was 30 years old, freaking out on me, texting me, saying all of this absolute bonkers shit. Like, I'm so happy. I don't know when that stopped and why that like stopped. Maybe I honestly don't know, because it's just so funny. I was away for college and she still was acting that way towards me. I don't know. Before I went to college, she took me to a festival in Wisconsin. It was like a camping festival. I forget what it's called, like Summerfest in Wisconsin. And we pitched a tent and stuff, and we got in a huge fight. And it was mostly because she was drinking and stuff, and that was not good for her. She was flipping out on me, texting me crazy stuff while we were there, because she like went somewhere else. I think she was like, we made friends there. We made like so many friends there. And then I think she ended up going with like one group of friends that we made, and I was with like another group of friends that we made. And she was just spewing off all this bullshit. And she was like, we're leaving, even though like we were supposed to be staying the night for one last night there. She's like, come. I don't even remember what happened. I don't remember if we actually ended up leaving or not, but I hope not, because she was definitely drinking. I think I ended up talking her down and was like, girl, what's going on? Like, you flipped out of nowhere. What's happening? But yeah, anyways, that's the end of that episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought in the comments. Let me know your questions, comments, concerns. As always, I love you so much, and I'll talk to you in the next episode. Bye. If you want extra content weekly, head over to patreon.com/storytimesociety and become a member on there for extra content. Love you. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.